What's up, you guys? It's Warren with Scale Audio, and today we're going to learn everything we need to know about a compressor. So what is compression? Compression is basically taking the loud parts and making them quieter. The best way to see this, I think, is to get a good visual, and to do that, we're going to jump into my DAW. So in here, we have a vocal. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. And as you can tell, it's not very stable in the amount of volume that's being used. So what we generally do is we compress. Now, there's many basic parts to a compressor. We'll turn this one on. I have it preset to completely level things off. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Well, maybe not completely, but pretty close. To give a visual representation of what's going on here, our old sound is the one with all these peaks. Our new one is the one in the center in the color red. So you can see the difference as I switch back and forth. Original, new one right there. Now, there's multiple different settings to a compressor. What's probably one of the most important ones to understand is the threshold. Basically, what a threshold is going to do is it's going to tell the compressor when to start acting. And it's whenever the audio reaches above the level of that threshold. So, for example, we're at 21.9 decibels right there. I'm sorry, negative 21.9 decibels. And whenever this audio file here goes above that level, we're going to see this start acting. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. So if I pull it up, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. See, it acts less. If I pull it all the way up, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Doesn't act at all, really. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Okay. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. So mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. So the next thing for us to understand is the ratio. Right now what we're at is what would be called a 1.9 to 1. So that means for every 1.91 decibels that are above the threshold here, we're only going to let through 1 dB. So technically, if I put it to 2, then for every 2 decibels, only 1 dB is going to come through, or 1 decibel. And you're basically cutting it in half at that point. So that's the idea of the ratio. So for an example, mic check, 1 2 1 2. 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 You can see as I moved that lower, you heard it get quieter. That's kind of the thought behind it. The next thing after that your compressors are generally going to have is your attack and release. Basically, what your attack and release is going to do is the longer the attack, the longer it's going to take for that compressor to start acting. The slower the release, the slower it's going to take for it to let go. Now, in order to help you understand the release, I have completely boosted the release on this compressor here. And I have put a kick through the same exact channel. So if you watch insert 3 here, you will see the kick. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Along with the vocals. So now if you listen, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic. You'll hear the vocals kind of come back. And to give you a visual representation of that, we take a look at this. This is our compressed file in the red back here. Now, as you can see, towards the end over here, it starts becoming more correct and normal. What's happening is the compressor engages in the front, and because I set the release so long, all it was reacting to was this kick. That was the only thing hitting the threshold we set. So the compressor isn't actually reacting to these vocals. It's not even touching these vocals when it comes to the threshold here that we had talked about. What's happening is the release is so long that the compressor is still squeezing down after this kick that it initially hit, and is continuing and slowly letting go all the way to the end here. So that is the extremity of setting this release as far as it'll go. Now, in the same light, if I was to have a quick release but move this attack, what we're going to get this strong spike here in the beginning. If I move this up here, we can see that initial peak is just about the same. And it is actually exactly the same right here in the beginning of this kick. And then it slowly engaged and became tamed by the compressor. And that's about it for compressors. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You're reducing volume. They do have other compressors that are called upward compressors, which instead of reducing volume from the top, you're bringing volume up from the bottom, but you're mostly only going to see a standard downward compression. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll try to get back to you and give you an answer. I also have a video for the characteristics of the attack and release if you want to see it actually in action on instruments and how it would be used. That's something that is fairly important to compression, but was something that wasn't needed just to teach you what a compressor was. So that's about it. This is Warren with Scale Audio. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.